My name is Matt Steinhauer, and I'm also here to stand in support of my colleagues speaking out against Alliance Defending Freedom. Not only are they legally defending an adoption agency who turned away a couple due to their Jewish faith, they've also been infiltrating Tennessee with their dangerous and harmful legislation. They've worked across the country to pass laws that target and harm LGBTQ people and students, whether from bathroom or sports bans, by claiming that these marginalized and threatened groups are a threat to safety. We also know that LGBTQ students face a high level of harm, discrimination, and bullying from their fellow students. And now our legislators, with the help from outside groups like Alliance Defending Freedom, are also part of this, which is contrary to the call of Christ to love our neighbors as ourselves, and the Old Testament scriptures, as Pastor Scott mentioned, who mentioned again and again and again that our place is to turn toward those God is turned toward, the orphan, the widow, the alien in our land. Last year, the Tennessee State Legislature passed a discriminatory bathroom bill that was signed by Governor Lee, which was challenged legally in court. Many may not know this, but there were 2 students who brought a lawsuit against the Tennessee discriminatory bathroom bill last year. Instead of continuing to face bullying and discrimination in their schools, the students who were the plaintiffs in the case have moved out of the state. Can you imagine having to move out of the state that you live and work in order for your own children to feel safe? If someone's defense of their harmful and cruel behavior is religious freedom, then the religion they are practicing is certainly not the Christian faith. We read in James chapter 1, verse 27, that the religion that God our Father accepts as pure and faultless is this: to look after orphans and widows in their distress, and to keep oneself from being polluted by the world. A version of Christianity that claims the freedom to discriminate is a higher value than loving your neighbor as yourself is a distortion and corruption of the Christian faith, and indeed is not actually the Christian faith. Alliance Defending Freedom claims to be a Christian organization, but their actions harm the dignity and worth of many of our fellow neighbors, the opposite of what Jesus called us to do when he told the parable of the Good Samaritan. As faith leaders, we must speak in one voice, condemning groups seeking to distort the Holy Scriptures and to justify an agenda that brings harm to our communities and contradicts God's commandments to love one another. So along with the other pastors on this call and over 20 faith leaders across the state who signed on to a letter that will be released next week as an op-ed, we are praying and calling on other people of all faiths and no faith to join us in delivering the message that Alliance Defending Freedom's hate has no home in Tennessee. We are also calling on all people of faith across the state of Tennessee to join us in educating their local officials and the public about this national group's hateful and unchristian agenda that is meddling in our local communities. As faith leaders, we speak out and declare that hate has no home here in Tennessee.